Greetings, I, the WarOwl, greets you. Today we're going to be talking about the Afterplant in Counter-Strike Global Offensive from the perspective of a clutching terrorist player. So 1 versus 1 and then 1 versus X, multiple opponents. I see people screw this up all the time, so I think this is going to be a good topic to go over the basics of. Afterplant in Counter-Strike is the time after you plant. I like to call it post-plant, but people already called it after-plant, so what are you gonna do? Your teammates, dead, watching every move you make, silently judging you. Well, hopefully silently. The bomb timer ticking down as the enemy prepares their final retake. The tension builds as you hear their footsteps draw closer, their frantic efforts to hunt you down. You hear it, the beep beep of a defusal beginning. Is it a fake, a trick meant to coax you out of your hiding spot, or a desperate attempt to steal your victory? This is the moment that defines a player. However, it is that intensity that causes people to figuratively lose their heads, do something stupid, and then literally lose their heads. Let's go over some basic rules that you should follow to better increase your chances of winning these situations. First, know the bomb plant position. You can figure this out by looking at the radar. Don't always assume your teammates planted in the standard position or even a good position. You will have to switch up your positioning depending upon where the bomb is. I'm a terrorist and I want to be playing Afterplant on bomb site A Inferno. Let's use this site as an example because it's very basic. This is the standard plant position. You're going to be planting here most of the time. Why? Obviously, so you can watch it from porch. You can watch it from, I don't know, hiding in graveyard. You can watch it from pits and take cover. You can watch it from the apartments here and catch them off guard defusing, pretty much anywhere, and that's why it's the best plant position. You're also not visible from rotators while you're planting here as well. It's the best spot to plant. So if it's planted here, switch up your position, play from one of the safe places where you can pay attention and watch the bomb, you're good to go. However, you have to keep in mind, if you have a dumb teammate, you have a noob teammate, and he runs in here like, oh man, I don't know how to play Counter-Strike, bro, and he plants here in this safe plant position, that's very common for noobs to do it, you can't play that from apartments, guys. Look, you have to peek all the way out, like all the way like here, and now I see him. Gives the CTs an advantage because they can run over here and just like stick the defuse 5 seconds and you'll be like scrambling to get out there, assuming that they're there. So keep in mind where that bomb is planted. If it's planted here, I think like I would play it from inside the site. You can watch the 2 entrances. You can watch here, and you got this nice headshot position here to library. So you're gonna have to play inside the site. I'm sorry, guys, if a noob teammate screws it up for you. Next, know where the enemy is rotating from. This is information you can also get from your radar. If your teammates saw somebody, it'll show up on the radar for you. It's best if you get this information from your teammates' calls. If you're solo queuing though, consider your teammates unreliable narrators. Knowing where enemies could potentially be thanks to the calls of my teammates and the information gleaned from the radar is super helpful in deciding where I'm going to stand and what I'm going to look at. So for example, if I got in here and I planted the bomb at the statue and my teammates were fighting at the entrance and they died, and we know that there are 2 players left and they're both there, then I don't have to worry about a flanker coming from long B unless they boost up the drop, which by the way, smart thing to do. Do that if you can. Catch people off guard big time. So I can actually play that bomb from here. Don't even have to look this way and just look at this angle right here. So they have to push me. They may push me close. They may try to do a fake defuse, in which case they're out in the open and I can take them down. Really nice. It gives me a much higher chance of survival. Conversely, let's say there's 3 enemies left. My teammates are all dead and they only saw 2 coming from this position. Now I have to assume that one player could potentially be pushing from B. So I have to watch it. Maybe I would play a different position, like back here, so I can watch these entrances and watch this entrance as well, or back here, like just in case. Like just in case somebody is gonna be pushing from here. Very important to have an idea of where everybody is. You get more of an idea of it the more you play and the more experience you get. And you'll get an idea of the timings too. Like you'll know when the player can push here based upon how long it takes to rotate around the back. Slight aside while we're here, it's a good idea to call to your teammates where you planted the bomb, to give them an idea of where they can play post-plant. So for example, if I planted here, I would say planted for balcony, so that they know, oh, okay, I can watch that from the balcony. Or if you plant it for long, planted for long, you know? Just let them know so they have an idea of where they should play, so they don't have to think about it, you know? Help your teammates out, guys. Planting the bomb gives you a distinct advantage, where once you were the attacker, you are now the defender, so your mindset has to change immediately. Time is now in your favor, and running down the timer is advantageous to you. You do not have to peek unless the enemy is defusing the bomb. The more they hesitate and delay, the better for you, so play the bomb. First, let's talk about a 1 versus 1. You've positioned yourself in a good spot, you know where the enemy can be, now you gotta wait. They have to either attack you or trick you. If they decide to fake defuse, they will tap the bomb to make it sound like they're defusing it in order to try and coax you out of your spot. The thing is, you gotta peek. You can't let them possibly just stick it. But you don't have to peek right away. Let them sit on the bomb for a few seconds before quickly peeking the corner so that you're not predictable and you eat more of the bomb timer away. If you just peek immediately, they can hop off it, hop back on it, and it gives them way more chances to dome you. If it looks like they're on the bomb while you peek, you can re-peek them again and kill them. If they get off the bomb, congratulations, they now have to either rush you or try and fake you out again. The only thing you've given away is your positioning. You can see how you're at a major advantage here, even if they know where you are. There's many different ways the enemy can trick you in a 1 versus 1. So let's say I plant the bomb right here, in this position, and I've moved back here to play the defuse. One thing that they could do, like if they don't know where you are, and they're like, oh boy, we're in some trouble, we're visible from all these spots, drop the smoke, and then defuse from a weird little ducky angle through that smoke. And when that happens, you're gonna have to spam it, but something else they could also do then is from that smoke, fake defuse, walk out of it, hear you spamming, and then take you down because you've given yourself away because of your spamming. So let's say I'm under fire and I can't plant out in the open and I've planted here and I've somehow made my way up top and we're in like a 1v1, right? Molotovs are super useful for Afterplant because it gives you a huge time advantage. You can delay the defuse for a long time just by throwing a Molotov. The negative is it gives your position away, but it's always good so I don't have to like peek out here like this and engage, and then he has a chance to hit me in the head, which every time I peek I've given him a little chance to kill me without even moving. Like from every single site you should go through and figure out the best places to throw Molotovs. Like, for example, I come over here into the corner, I look at this middle thing, and I look right in the middle, and I do a standing throw, and it lands directly on that bomb plant position, which forces them to get off it for a period of time. Very smart, but consider, if they're super smart, they can just cancel that out, and then defuse it through that smoke, and now we get into that whole smoke thing we talked about. Once you learn the basics of the 1v1, you gotta switch it up a little bit, because if like that's the standard position, like most people, if they see a bomb planted here, they're gonna assume somebody is upper. It's also possible to run out lower as well, but for the most part, they're just gonna throw this Molotov, and then they could actually stick that defuse. So you got like a decision to make. Do I have enough health to do this? Oh, I have 4 health left, but I was still able to kill him. Or are you playing a different position, like as soon as you hear like that they're throwing a Molotov, run over down lower and then try to peek them from an alternate angle? It's tough. You're gonna have to figure out what to do in the situation. Clear your mind, guys. You got this. I believe in you. Now let's say there are multiple opponents. The game changes considerably. I'd still say in a 1 versus 2, you have a good shot at winning it. 1 versus 3 gets, you know, more and more difficult as more and more enemies pile on. Just playing the bomb may not always be the best option. One can defuse and the other can watch for your peek. If you do decide to play the bomb in a 1 versus X, it's possible you'll be peeking more than one player at the same time, which is a big no-no. Sometimes you're going to be in a situation, especially against multiple opponents, where it doesn't make sense to just play the bomb. For example, if the bomb's planted here on A Mirage, and you're like up in Palace, and you want to play the bomb, if there's multiple opponents left, like even 2 players, look at all of these angles when I move out to peek the bomb that I have to look at. If I run out here and just go after that bomb diffuser, I've exposed myself from a bunch of different positions, and there's going to be a player out there who is hunting me, who's listening for me, who's trying to find me and defend that bomb diffuser, and also consider the bomb diffuser could be faking it as well. So I could be pushing out into a 1v2, which is a big no-no. You can't do that. So a lot of times in these situations, if the bomb's planted in a spot where it's not really easy to watch and the enemies are moving in from all over the place, you might have to just play the entrances and try to defend the bomb site. Like if there's a player coming CT, like keep an eye on that. If he's like opping, for example, I could like shoulder peek him to get him to shoot and kind of distract him for a second, and then move over here and fight the guy who's at stairs, shoulder peek him, back over here. It's sort of like, and then watching this entrance to see if somebody moves by in order to time it so I can shoot him as they come by the try box. It's like those chess grandmasters who are playing multiple opponents at the same time and keeping multiple games in their head. You kind of have to do that when you're fighting multiple people in Counter-Strike. If I just put all my focus on stairs guy, these guys can sneak up on me. If I like think about him, it's like, all right, I smoked him. Now I'm fighting him. Now I'm watching. I'm thinking somebody's gonna be peeking here pretty soon. And fighting all of these guys at the same time and positioning my cover so that I don't engage more than one player at the same time. You wanna try to fight each player one at a time, but everybody at the same time. And it's difficult. Spoiler alert, you're not gonna win a lot of these. You're gonna die a lot. I'm just trying to help give you guys like a good mindset so you can try in these situations and give yourself the best chance of victory or making a good economic impact before you go down. Guys, the great thing about Counter-Strike compared to other FPS, compared to other esports games, is that in a situation like this, bomb planted, 1 versus 3 coming in to take me down, I can win. If I'm good enough, I can win. If your opponents are really good and up to date on the meta, a lot of this stuff will never come into play. I watched through 5 full pro matches with 8 different top teams to get footage for this video. Do you know how many instances of fake defusing came into play? 0. Pros don't fake. They know it's better to quickly locate and engage the opponent instead of playing against the opponent's strength, being the planted bomb. And their positioning, good rotates, game sense, and team communication will inform them of where you are possibly hiding and also prevent you from getting into a ridiculously good position in the first place. This means against better players, you'll end up just playing defensive angles instead of playing the bomb. However, in your matchmaking games, everything I said applies. There's nothing like the tension of Counter-Strike in gaming, especially when you're in those clutch situations. But you can't let that tension get to your head. You have to stay calm, confident, and in control of your actions. A lot of times when it switches, when you plant that bomb and now you're on the defense side, it's very easy to let the tension get to your head and cause you to play more aggressively and go for peaks that you really shouldn't. You gotta be smart, guys. In Counter-Strike, never put yourself in a fair fight. Always look for that advantage. Thank you folks very much for watching. I am TheWarOwl, and I still have no closer. Hey guys, I finally got fiber. That's it. Let's see how the upload speed is.